How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? So I figured out that let's do some vlog for change. You know, it has been a couple of days since I last time did do a vlog and just talk about, you know, stuff. So yeah, so some updates, like I did mention in the earlier vlog. I did try to get the security guard job, but it seems I was not the right one for the job because I got no phone calls last week. But who knows? Maybe they call next week. But because, you know, sometimes they might get like thousands of you know, job applications, and now, like we know, we have like 16% unemployment rate in here Finland, in Vantaa city. Think about that, 16%. That is that is just absurd. 16% is almost at this point like everybody. So but yeah, but in my case, like I have been mentioned, it has not been I'm very skilled, I'm highly educated and so on. So for me it's you know, one big obstacle has been health issues and so on. So yeah. But yeah, but you know, I'm trying my best. I'm trying what I can do. So that is why I started making this content and so on. So, and at least I got to share you some of this nature here in Finland. Yeah, and was it last Thursday, last Friday, last Saturday, something like that, when I did go to the Helsinki city center, and I did you know, try to make some content and bought some new shorts from UFF used clothes stores and so on. And it was also pretty amazing day because, you know, there was couple of nice moments. I did talk to this one girl in the UFF store, and you know, I did talk to her for a while. We did have this conversation. It was pretty nice. But you know, I did ask, okay, would you like to go to date? But you know, you have to try. But that was not the you know, it was not it. So, and she was from Portugal, so quite far away anyway. So, and you know, usually when I'm trying to get dates with girls and so on, I usually try to, you know, primarily focus on Finland area, focus on Vantaa, Helsinki, something like that, because, you know, if somebody lives very far away, it's it might come there might be some you know, issues when it comes to maintaining the relationship, keeping up with the connection, trying to communicate with each other and so on, and try to arrange meetings. So there comes many issues. But yeah, it was, anyways, it is always nice, you know, when there comes these moments that, okay, this is very good moment to start discussion with some girl and try to ask her out. It's nice. It's nice, you know. It's just fun. It's just fun, and to me it's it's no problem. I'm just I can easily talk to like people, so but this job stuff, when I did think about the taxi driver job, I'm still thinking about that. I did also take a look some of the other jobs. There was this one interesting option. What it was again? I don't actually remember what it was. Let me think about it. It was something to do. Yeah, it was the UFF used clothes store position for managing the stores, like this, being this regional manager for all the stores. So that was very like potential. I like this thinking that okay, this might be something like interesting. This might be like that maybe I should like try to apply for this job. I have to take a second look, but it seemed like the interesting position, something which I would have like a skills for. And I also appreciate the used clothes market, the business. I think that's great, I think it's good they are selling these used clothes. So if you take a look, for example, some of the issues which we have in society in every country. This is actually concerning pretty much every country, is this all kind of waste, how we handle waste, and that includes also clothes waste, plastic and so on, and for example, clothes must be also quite big part of waste. So it is like from that point of view important to at least try to use clothes as long as possible. Try to buy recycled used clothes. Well, in Finland I would say that we have quite good some of these stores which sells used clothes, and at least in the internet there are like these marketplaces, so that's great, which function quite well and do their job, these websites. So but so there did come this new law now. European Union did approve this law that now stores which sell new clothes, they are no longer allowed to destroy clothes if they are not sold. So that's great news, that great law. So now the stores is in European Union countries are required by law to actually sell the clothes which they have or donate them to the charities. So that is great, and so from that point of view, when I was thinking about the job, that okay, maybe I should try to apply for the UFF store manager position here in Finland, I would think that okay, maybe I will be like a good like a option for that job, because I like to advocate for these kind of things and so on. And here are, by the way, few tips if you are like considering buying used clothes and so on. So just hear me out. These are like important tips. So first of all, just observe the clothes. Are they like, do they look that they are in new condition? Are they looking good? do they fit you first and foremost, very important thing, because otherwise you just buy some clothes and then you just throw them away, and then that is a problem. Okay, but after that, you know, try to not only look but also touch the clothes. Do they feel wet in any way? Because if the clothes feel wet in any way, they might actually have mold. So let me repeat that. If the used clothes, for example the UFF store, if they feel like a very wet, they do not feel like a extremely dry. If they do feel wet in your hand when you touch them, they might have mold. Okay, so do not buy those clothes. When I was in the UFF store, I did try many clothes with my hands, and I did notice that some of them feel a little bit wet. They did not feel fully dry. And of course it might be in some cases a little bit difficult to notice, but I do recommend that try them with your hands, and maybe of course try them in your, like, put them on, and then you might also feel like if the clothes feel like a little bit wet or even cold, that is sign of mold. Okay, and then of course there is this basic if there's like any kind of very clear, very maybe disturbing smell or something like that, that is also a sign of mold. So there is some few tips for you, and especially that tip about the touching the clothes and feeling if they feel like a wet or cold. That is very good tip, and usually I don't know if that many people even know that is how you should actually observe the clothes. So yeah. But here we go. Here was this weblog, some of my thoughts, and so some tips how to find great used clothes and so on. And yeah, I will keep this video short and so on. And follow me on YouTube, subscribe and so on, and have a nice day.